I feel like I'm about to film like an X-File or something. Oh my god. Okay. Welcome back, dreamers. How's it going? Oh goodness, I'm gonna adjust this chair really quick. All right, so today you're about to see a video again that I've had filmed for like 2.5 months. This video contains some interesting photos. And I'm going to hide person's identity. But I had a psycho ex-roommate. I have a crazy ex-roommate. And I wanted to share that story. I wanted to share the photos that I have and what led up to it and what not. So if you don't know, I moved here 6 months ago. And on the exact day, 3 months later, I got kicked out of my apartment. 3 weeks prior to that, a bunch of stuff kept happening. She had a dog, and a bunch of crap just kept happening with her and her dog, and she was being very irresponsible with her dog. I took care of her dog a lot. I'm not going to say I took care of her dog more than she did, but I took care of her dog a lot. I was always asked to walk her dog, whether she was going out or staying late for work, whatnot. And you know, it just kind of built up because I wanted to start a new life. I didn't want to be somebody's, plaything to toss around. I didn't want to be, so I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be my own person. And I know how dramatic that sounds for walking a dog, but there's a lot more to it. So the dog destroyed a rug that I had. She bought me a new one, but it was extra money that neither of us needed to spend. Then chewed on my retainer, which was stowed away. Chewed on my retainer, had to buy a new one, which was like $700, which she paid half of it, but I still had to pay half. And then peed on our cloth couch. And it was crazy, and it wasn't a good environment to be in. And so I kind of told her 3 weeks prior that I had already been looking for new places, and I wasn't going to leave her alone. And I have witnesses to attest to this, but I told her every single time, every conversation that we had, that I wasn't going to leave her. I wanted to be her friend, and I wasn't going to leave her stranded, and I was going to find her a new roommate. And mind you, it's double work on me. I have to find her a new roommate. I have to find myself a new place and whatnot. So she got angry, really, really upset, really, really angry. And the next day after I told her that, so a mistake that I had made, well, I did one thing right and I did one thing wrong. The one thing that I did right was I did not put my name on the lease. I wasn't a part of the lease. My name wasn't on it, but I lived there. Basically a sublet. And then the second thing that I did, the thing that I did wrong, was half of the furniture we kind of paid half and half, and then eventually when we split the lease or like ended the lease, one of us would pay the other person the other half of the money, and then they would take the furniture. Don't do that. Don't recommend it. It's not a good thing, even when you think it is. So we didn't do that for everything, but the big things were the bar stools, the bar, the lamp, the couch, and those were the big 4 items that we paid half and half for. So the next day I text her and I'm like, hey, this is how much you owe me, because I wasn't going to take the furniture. Her dog had ruined it. So I was like, I'm not taking this furniture. Wherever I go, there's probably going to be a bar and bar stools. I don't need it. I'll take the extra money. Sent her an invoice and was like, this is how much you're going to owe me. And she was like, I'm not paying you that. And then basically the conversation back and forth was, you have to pay me rent for next month. It's as simple as that. And I was like, I'm paying my own rent next month. I don't need to be paying yours, whatnot. And I was like, but I want my half of the money back for this furniture. So she wouldn't let up. And basically I was like, well, I can only do one thing. So I picked up the bar stools, I picked up the lamp, and I took them into my car, and I took them back to IKEA. And I sat there in the parking lot, fully ready to return them because I had the receipts for everything. She didn't know where they were. I kept them all. Kept the receipts for everything, and was about to return them. And as I'm returning, she comes home from work without me knowing, and she calls and she's like, where is my couch? Or where is my bar stool, and where is my lamp? So I start like bargaining with her, and I'm like, I want the half of the money. I want the half of the money. I just want out of your hair, whatever. And she starts screaming. She's like, I'm not gonna give you half the money. And so we dwindled it down to money, and she was like, but I'll pay you on Friday. It was like Tuesday. She's like, I'll pay you on Friday. And I was like, okay. So then I call my aunt and my sister, and we're on the phone together. And I realized that I have a undisclosed amount of money in cash in my room, and she's at home and I'm not, and we're having an argument, and I don't know what she's capable of doing. And so she told me that I had to be out that night, and I was like, I'll do you one better. I was like, you give me this amount of money, I will leave tonight, and I never want to see your face again. I was dramatic as heck, but I didn't want to see her face again. So I run back as fast as I can. The IKEA was like maybe 5 minutes from the apartment, but I zoomed back in my car because I was like, I don't know if she's going to try and take my money or take my stuff. I don't know. So I zoom back, and I'm like, so I had to consult with my aunt and my sister, and we all agreed that I couldn't just like move everything tonight and like whatever. So I was like, you're gonna have to give me some more time, at least just to move the bigger stuff. That's like the bed was like, I had a bed. It was a king size bed, still have it, had the bed frame, and I couldn't move it. I had, 2 free like TV stands that I had, and I wanted to keep those. And so I was like, I could do this. I could do what we said, but I need the money now because I didn't trust her. I was like, I need the money now, and I have to keep this key until tomorrow morning so I can come back while you're at work and get a U-Haul to get this stuff out. So she agreed to the U-Haul part. She tried to, to clarify, that fight was the biggest fight, and she ripped the key fob out of my hand. I took her phone, almost threw her phone. I like held her phone off of we were 3 stories up. I just held it over the edge. And I was like, I'm not taking any crap anymore. I was very serious at this point. Like, I have been through the ringer. This is not what I wanted. I wasn't capable, I thought at the time, to even get my own place. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, I need time and I want the money. So basically, she gave me a contingency in money. It was like $200. And then she was going to give me like, I think it was $400 more, whatever. And she told me, so anyways, fast forward, and there's just a lot of messages and things that went on. What I'm going to do now is we're going to flip from me to photos on the screen, and I'm going to explain what the photos are, and we're going to finish this story. It's crazy, and there's some photos in here that are going to be a little gross, so bear with me if you don't like dog, what's a good word for it? Things that come out of dogs. You probably might want to skip over that part, but yeah, anyways, let's get to the rest of the story through pictures.
By the way, his move-out date is the 26th. No. He just took that big box down. Who the fuck put somebody's bike like that?
Dude, literally, I saw that. I was like, that sounds weird. That's no.
It's the knife. That's yours too. My bike doesn't belong like this. This is somebody's personal shit.
Okay, so the first 3 photos are just kind of pictures of what some of the dog did. I just want to kind of reiterate. So by me saying that she wanted me to take care of her dog, I mean she would go to competitions every weekend. And as soon as she started back up in February, because she stopped in like August, September, she would want me to take care of her dog every single weekend. And I am a dog person, but I was not going to take care of her dog because I wasn't in a place that I wanted to take care of another living being. And I discussed that with her at one point, and she didn't even offer like compensation or anything. Like I was literally just doing it out of the kindness of my heart, and I wasn't going to be taken advantage of. But so the first picture, of course, is just her dog ripped up trash. Did it somewhat frequently. The word I would probably choose more is occasionally. But this is just one of those photos. The second photo is of the couch that he peed on, and it's hard to tell, but you could smell it and you could see it, and I scrubbed and rubbed that thing with so many different chemicals you don't even know, and I sold it. So I ended up taking the couch and the bar stools. I gave her the lamp and the bar back, so she was left without bar stools for a bar. And before anyone's like, you stole those, I didn't steal them. I had paid for them on my card. Okay, she gave me half the money for it, but she wasn't going to give me half the money for it, so I took what was rightfully mine because I paid for it. So then the next photo, be weary of what comes next, trigger warning for anything that you don't like. I don't want to trigger any gag reflexes out there or anything, but it's dog stuff. But basically this is what he did to my rug. And obviously it's a white fluffy rug and there's no getting that out. The next couple photos are literally just photos that I had taken because I wasn't able to fit everything into 3 cars because I had 2 friends help me out. Or more, one friend and one acquaintance who was super sweet of helping me out. And I stayed with my friend for 2 weeks who had a house. And he's super sweet. Shout out to him. Shout out to Carter. So nice, so sweet. Honestly, one of my favorite 2 weeks of my life, to be honest. But these pictures I took the night before so I could see everything that was there, so I could double check the next morning if everything that belonged to me was still there. None of it was really valuable, but I just wanted to make sure she wasn't going to take anything. The next thing you're going to see really fast is a clip of what it looked like as soon as I was done cleaning up, and then we'll go back to some of the pictures of what happened when we first walked in. This is all of the dog's work. I didn't touch it. This is all of her stuff. Didn't do the dishes. They're all her dishes. That's hers. Those are all hers. Everything else, like I said, all the dog's work. And then this is all cleared out. Cleared out. Same with the bathroom. Everything else is cleared out. And we're good to go. So as you can see, the next few photos are going to be the damage that the dog did. I walked in the next morning with the U-Haul. She was at work. I walked in, and this is the mess that I had come across. Now, to explain a little bit more of the night that she kicked me out, I called my friend Carter, who told me prior, if I had any problems or anything, that I could stay at his house. And so I called him up. He was super sweet, came immediately. I was literally sobbing on the phone, of course. And as I was taking my stuff out, she didn't even have the human decency to wait. She kicked me out. Didn't have the human decency to wait in her room. She touched my piano. So I touched her. So I did touch her bike in the beginning. I know I didn't mention that. But I wanted to say that I touched her bike to move it for a second. And I put it at a weird angle, and she was like, and then that's when she said, you know, this is people's personal property. Why, you know, would you touch this? And then, of course, she is discussing it with her friend. I put my phone out there to record her voice so that way I could see if she talked about me behind my back. And of course she did, just because, you know, again, I was just trying to cover myself. So continuing, so she didn't have the human decency to wait in her room. She was already rearranging her furniture. So she moved my piano out of the way so she could move her stuff to where she wanted it. And then she would tell me stuff. So what I did was I left the bar stools and the lamp in my car because I wasn't going to give them back. But I gave the lamp back, but I kept the bar stools because the bar stools were mine. And she was really mad about it. And then, so during that night, she asked me to do my dishes, even though she had bought those dishes. I was like, I'm not doing them. You know, she never did the dishes, by the way. I always did the dishes. I was always the one to do it. So I was going to leave them to her. I wasn't going to do the dishes. They were hers. I was going to buy myself new dishes when I moved into my new place, and I wasn't going to deal with it. So I left her the dishes. She then knows that I don't like the smell of weed. And that's just me. I don't like the smell of it. I'm not, you know, anyone who smokes weed, good for you. I've thought about it. I just haven't done it. I don't like the smell. It really pains me. And she started smoking all over the place. And it smelled like weed throughout the entire apartment, my room, the living room, her room. You know, she was playing music really loudly. She kept asking my friends for things that she shouldn't have been asking for. And she was like, those are my nails on the wall. I used her nails for a picture in my bedroom. And she was like, those are mine. And I was like, okay, you can have them back. Like, I don't need your 2-cent nails. So she asked me to do a bunch of crap while I was, you know, doing it. It was wild. It was crazy. It was immature. I was just I was genuinely at this point so frustrated that I just wanted to get out of her way. And so I was trying to be the good person, and I was trying to get out of the way. And yeah, it just really sucks. So these next couple photos are just, of course, like I said, all of the damage he did with the trash, and then all of the empty space. So again, so I could cover my butt, just in case she ever tried to come for me. And then I just wanted to be slightly petty. So on our board that I left her, that I paid half for, I wrote XOXO Gossip Girl on the calendar. And then I left her another sweet note on the table. And you guys can pause and read it. We called each other David and Alexis from Schitt's Creek. And I just wished her well wishes, and I put it under this little skeleton thing that I found in the forest once. It's a real bone. And she didn't really like it, I don't think. And she was like, you could get rabies or whatever. So I left it on there. And then the reason I wrote that other message on the board is because she wrote find new roomie on October goals as to mock me, and so I wasn't about it. And she also wrote moving out, and I did not write that. The next thing you will be looking at is her friend, who I literally said I was kicked out, and she called me psychotic when I bailed on her in the middle of her lease. Also give her bar stools and couch back. Again, her bar stools and her couch were not hers. They were mine. I paid for them. I had the receipts, still have them, and they were put on my credit card. So I knew she was going to tell one of her friends to contact me, and I didn't know which one it was, and That ended up happening. And then the entire day that I was getting the stuff out of out of the old apartment, she was texting me a bunch of stuff. One of the things she said is, I think you have one of my lint rollers. I'd like that back. She said, also, I thought about it and I will need you to pay Wi-Fi, XL, and call-in service for this month. When I get those bills, I will request payments on Venmo. I'm also going to need you to change your mailing address as well as the address in your car registration, insurance, and license. Like, I didn't already know that. Can I get a picture of that signed statement, please? She said she wanted a signed statement of all of the stuff that she had already said. And after she sent that message, everything was out by like 2:30 when this message was sent. I was in the shower when she sent that one. And I decided that, like, why keep contact? So I blocked her on everything, literally everything, including Venmo, because I wasn't going to pay because it wasn't my responsibility. And then later on at night, I didn't open my computer because I blocked her even on my phone, like with messages. And I opened my computer and there's one unread message and it showed up on my computer because I blocked her on my phone. And it said, where the F is my couch and bar stools? And I got no messages after that, and I've never spoken to her again. So it was a rocky, wild ride. Being kicked out was not on my 2020 bingo card, but, you know, life is life, and I got out of there as quick as I could, and now I am thriving. But I wanted to tell this story of my psychotic roommate, who was crazy. But I'm going to leave it at that. And yeah, but remember, it all starts with an idea. Dream big, guys. You guys really didn't think I was going to be petty? Let's just have a little fun. Like any real love is ever changing. Like any real love
drives you crazy.
1, 2, 3, jump! You could be here, but you don't have a car.
Daddy. I hate both of you. Daddy, bad daddy, get on your shit.